Stop for a moment and think. We share our cities with them. They wake us up in the morning with their calls, they scavenge our leftovers in the parks. We see them as ordinary, perhaps slightly annoying, background figures in our lives. But we are wrong. They aren't background figures, they are the main characters of this game. Scientists call them feathered primates. Mythology calls them harbingers of death. But the truth is stranger than fiction. They watch us. They recognize our faces. They use tools. They even hold multi-generational blood feuds. Today, we meet the true owners of the sky, the Corvid family. And I'm warning you, after this video, when you walk down the street, you will never look at that black bird above you the same way again. Where does this terrifying intelligence come from? The answer goes back millions of years. Birds are the last living representatives of dinosaurs. But crows? Crows are like the nerdy students of the dinosaur class. Their brain-to-body mass ratio is so high that it rivals that of chimpanzees. A specific part of their brain, called the nidopallium, performs the exact same functions as the prefrontal cortex in humans. This means they are capable of planning, thinking about the future, and abstract reasoning. They aren't just animals acting on instinct, they are thinking, calculating strategists. You don't need a laboratory to see their genius, just look at the streets. In Japan, carrion crows developed an incredible method to crack hard walnut shells. They drop the nuts onto the road, right where the car tires will pass. But wait, it gets crazier. They don't just dive into traffic to retrieve the meat. They wait for the pedestrian light to turn green. They walk across the crosswalk with the humans, pick up their snack, and leave. They know traffic rules better than most people. Then there is the New Caledonian crow. This species is the only non-human animal in nature that manufactures hooks. They don't just use a stick they find, they bend it, sculpt it, and engineer it into a tool to fish out larvae. They are natural-born engineers. Everyone knows parrots can talk. But did you know that crows, and especially ravens, are often better mimics than parrots? In the wild, they can imitate wolves, foxes, and even car alarms to confuse predators or attract allies. In captivity, some ravens can speak with a human voice so clear that if you closed your eyes, you'd swear a person was standing next to you. Even more fascinating, crows have dialects. A murder of crows in one city sounds completely different from a group 100 kilometers away. They aren't just screaming at each other, they are communicating with a complex language we are only just beginning to understand. If you think crows only hang out with their own kind, think again. In nature, there is a phenomenon known as wolf birds. Crows and ravens have formed a special alliance with wild wolf packs. When the birds spot an injured animal or a carcass from the sky, they call out to the wolves. The wolves come in, tear open the tough hide, which the birds' beaks can't penetrate, eat their fill, and leave the rest for the birds. It's a perfect partnership. Crows have even been observed playing with wolf pups, pulling their tails and flying away, forging bonds that last a lifetime. It is nature's coolest, and perhaps scariest, gang. Now, let's get to the scary part, memory. Let's recall the famous experiment at the University of Washington. Researchers captured crows while wearing a specific, threatening mask. The crows attacked them. But the shock came years later. 5 years after the incident, people wearing that same mask were still being dive-bombed and scolded by the flock. Even young crows, who hadn't even been born when the original capture happened, were attacking. Why? Because crows gossip. Once they label a human as dangerous, that information spreads through the flock and down to the next generation. They recognize your face, your walk, and even your car. So yes, if you anger a crow, you might want to consider moving. But what about their emotions? When a crow dies, the others don't just fly away. They gather around the body. They stand in silence. Scientists call this a crow funeral. But they aren't just mourning, this is a crime scene investigation. They are analyzing the scene. What killed him? Was it a trap? A cat? A hawk? They learn from the death of their peer to ensure their own survival. They turn tragedy into data. All this intelligence, revenge, and strategy might sound terrifying. But it is also an opportunity. If you show them respect, if you feed them regularly, crows can become fiercely loyal. There are countless reports of crows bringing gifts to humans who feed them, shiny glass, buttons, even lost earrings. They are the mafia of the sky. You certainly don't want them as enemies. But if you make them your friends, you have a powerful family watching your back. What do you think? Are crows the smartest animals on the planet? Or do you have another candidate? Let me know in the comments. For more deep dives into nature's mysteries, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Keep your eyes on the sky.